Yeah, hi everybody, Dr. Jason W. Morrison. I'm just doing a live test to see if anyone wants to ask me questions while I'm live. I do hope you're all well. I've been studying. There's Lisa from California. Yeah, she wants me to do the Reddit, start commenting on some of the Reddit posts. Hello everyone, say hello to me and I will answer your questions and chat. There you go. Let's see what happens. Now, I wonder what that means. Yeah, this is just a test. Now, I just want to say hello to everybody anyway. It's a beautiful day here in Australia, middle of winter. You can see the sun shining, not a cloud in the sky. We're going to go motorbike riding later. Let me just see if I can sort this out a bit. The Watchtower publications have been very interesting and very startling to say the least. I'm going to try and bring up some stuff here. Oh, I've lost myself. Wait a minute. I don't want to do that. What are you in, Benora? Hi, I'm here. It works. Lovely. Lovely. I've been enjoying your comments, Benora. I'm glad to have you on board and listening. I'm not perfect. I may make mistakes here and there, but we all do. I think South Carolina, fantastic. Lovely to love. Wow. What's it like in South Carolina? I don't know. I've never really been out of Australia. I've never had to have been. There's so much to do here. On the one hand, it's a native bush country with kangaroos. Carolina. Wow. Now JW Suicides has just got a JW docs available that's been leaked. Hope you're keeping in touch with all that. But Nora, I do appreciate your comments, and they're very much valued from over here. I think together, all of us together, are making a contribution to, unfortunately, the untruths that come out of the Watchtower Society. Is it worth doing the Watchtower publications, or do you think that's a waste of time? Some feedback on that would be good. I'm working on a Skype communication thing, which is for free, where instead of having to chat like that, we might be able to just, if you want, be on audio without your face showing, or either way, we're nearly there with that. And I think that's just going to help people to see that it's okay to leave the cult. You're not going to be caught up in the end of the world and all this stuff if you leave the cult. It's all about Jesus. Now, one of the things that I've been and the mentioning of Jesus, it's not Christ-centered, is it? It just seems to be a merry-go-round that goes round and round in circles on the same subjects and the same things, but it never gets to the bottom of fixing anything. Benora says, I like the Watchtower thing. Okay, I think it gives you even more insight into the JWs. Okay, well, I'm trying to approach that in a non-denominational way. I've been trained to be non-denominational, and that helps me to help people from all denominations. The reason why I'm so motivated with the Jehovah Witness organization is it's just, I can't understand why they don't admit their lies. Why they don't just say, righto, we're down to so many members. And if you look, I just want to recommend the latest Kim and Mikey video. It's just come out. There may not even be 2 million members, public publishers in the organization in America. You need to watch the latest Mikey and Kim, or Kim and Mikey video. It's I tell you, it's gobsmacking. They're lying about figures and they're lying about members. Now, Benora says, Reddit might be interesting too. I've never been to Reddit. but it wouldn't hurt us to review some of that stuff. I don't think they'd mind. I might send them an email and see if it's okay if we review their stuff on there, because again, it gives us something to talk about in the comments and stuff, and I can read what other people have got to say. I'm not interested so much in myself. I'm more interested in helping people to see through the fog of particularly the Watchtower Society and other cults. Now, I just want to mention the Australian Royal Commission and the redress for child abuse. I honestly believe, with the aggression that the Australian government's taking at the moment towards these religious organisations, that the redress for child abuse is a way, indirect way, but very specific way, for the Australian government to see who is going to have the integrity, the responsibility, and the accountability in relation to the child sexual abuse and other matters that have happened within inside their organisation. Let's just say the Jehovah's Witnesses haven't put their hand up yet, and I want everybody out there to know that the Australian government's aware of it. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet, okay? And as you can see, even the Australian Prime Minister on national TV, I'm gobsmacked, said to the Pope that he should sack Archbishop Wilson. Now, I've never, in the history of Australian politics that I can remember, ever a Prime Minister approaching a religious person in such a manner. So, and the Pope of all people. Benora says, Watchtower even helps those that might not be an ex-JW and are current JWs who are sneaking a peek to your channel to understand the cult. Might save a life. And that's the reason for all of this, I do this in my spare time. Not that it's not unvaluable, but I do push it with the missus a bit, because she you've got to have your things in order. But I try and squeeze as much in as I can with the short time that I've got. One of the things I'm known for is getting a lot done in a short time, even on the building sites. But even with my theology studies and stuff, I learned that you can do multiple things at one time and make the most of the time. Like if I'm listening to a YouTube channel, this may help. Here's a bit of a tip. If I'm listening to a YouTube channel and I want to get through the stuff quick, I put the settings on and I set the speed to double, because I've learnt to listen to things really fast, like at chipmunk speed, which helps me to consume as much information as I can in a short period of time. The return of that is I can put out a lot of information at the same time as well. Now, Benora says, you better keep Mama happy. If she's happy, the family will be happy. Well, the reason why I'm on now, Benora, is because she's just gone back to the big shopping center to change some clothes that she got on the internet that was the wrong size. So I've snuck this in just as an experiment. So hopefully I won't get my hand smacked when she comes back. I shouldn't. She wanted me to go, but I said I had to do this. So she's let me off the hook. And she's also taken one of the sons to work there as well. So she's killing two birds with one stone. But yeah, I got up and made her a couple of cups of tea this morning and got her off on the right foot. I did all the vacuuming, Benora. I did all the vacuuming and I helped her mop all the kitchen and stuff. I've been out the back and fixed some things. So I've got things in order as best as I can. Benora says, just keep her happy. This saying is so true. Well, it brings us to shunning, doesn't it? And I'll stop this around the 10-minute mark or 15-minute mark. Shunning. Now, one of the things that a lot of Bible students and people like yourselves don't realize is, and this come up again in the Watchtower publication, is that when Adam ate, yes, he ate deliberately, but he ate in the same manner as what Christ did when he went to the cross. And we find that in Romans chapter 5 in the latter part of the verse of 14. So Romans chapter 5. Sentence into our true identity, which is to ultimately love. Now that wipes out, I don't understand, And was the last time I saw the elder in Gosford, when they used to have meetings with us, and we would study what does the Bible teach, that little booklet thing, pathetic little booklet. The thing that made me a little bit cranky with this man was I found out that they didn't have children themselves. What they had done, these two, and at the last two meetings he brought his wife, and she was a much more aggressive Jehovah's Witness than what he was, even though he was the elder. They decided not to have children. They actually were going through the losses that the people have gone through, expecting 1914, 1925, 1935 and 1975. Well, there's still Jehovah's Witnesses that are sacrificing normal family life for these expectations of Armageddon and all this sort of stuff, which really infuriated me, because while he was steadfast about the shunning policy and that, you don't talk to people if they're spiritually out of order and you sit them up the back of the congregation, it's actually the opposite to love. Because if you have the power of Christ working in you, you still have boundaries, of course, but you can work with these people, and it takes time through love. I believe religion becomes too intrusive, and they try and make their expectations, they force their expectations of people's standards upon them, and that doesn't bring change. What brings change is when you take your hands off and you go, okay, right from wrong, but you still love. That's what happened to me. I was a bit of a rebel, but my mother and stepfather, they still loved me through the rebellion. And to be honest with you, at the end of it, I couldn't have cared less about rebellion. I wanted to just get on with life. Benora says, we who have been shunned don't understand how it reconciles with love either. It doesn't. It's confusing, it's debilitating, it's degrading, it takes away self-esteem. The main part is it's confusing, it causes anxiety, which leads to depression. And depression, ultimately, if you're vulnerable to it, can actually, as young Damo Highland says, leads to suicide. Now, I'd say Damon has actually seen some people suicide, or he's come close to it himself. This is what happens with shunning. It's bullying. It most certainly is bullying, Benora, because what it does, it forces you against yourself. It's not as transforming as they're making out. It's forcing you through, what's it called? Restriction, as it were, to change, rather than allowing you to change through experience and pain and loss, and whilst being loved through that. Now, that doesn't mean because you're loving someone because they're going through rebellion that you're encouraging their rebellion, which is what the shunning policy seems to suggest. Because when the prodigal son came back, and I just want to make sure I'm up to scratch with, Damo is a cute kid, Benora, he really is. And he's obviously been through a bit because his family was broken up by the ways of the Watchtower and Tract Society of the Jehovah's Witnesses. But you can, like with the prodigal son, the father gave him his inheritance. He gave both of them their inheritance. One put his aside, the other one went and spent his in prodigal living. Now, when you're restricted in a religion, when you start to realize things are going bad, or it's picking on you and bullying on you, as an act of rebellion. But that's a common reaction. Sometimes we need to go through this stuff. People need to go through this stuff because it's a reaction. They go through this stuff because they've been so confined and restricted and caught in this legalism that they bust out and they go in the opposite direction, only to experience pain and loss. And that's what helps them to find their way. But when the prodigal son came back, he wasn't shunned. The door was always open. Now, he may have come back several times, The father didn't demand anything of him. The father cleaned him up, dusted him off, polished him up. If the kid had went again, would the father have said, don't come back? No, because Jesus said, forgive them 70 times 7, which means as much as you have to, but have boundaries in place. So shunning I think, is a result of two things. I think it's a result of somebody in the Watchtower Society who decided that they'd go with this, who felt a fear. They fear these people because they think it's the opposite of it. It's a fear. It's a religious fear because it's not meeting these people aren't meeting the expectations that these legalists think you need to have to make God happy or stop him from being sad. They've missed the whole point, because the ultimate commandment, and we'll close with this, the ultimate commandment, listeners, is this. It's not to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your mind and with all your soul and all of that, because you'd disintegrate. You'd have nothing left. You'd just be an empty shell. It's to love your neighbor as yourself, which is hard enough. I'll be the first one to put my hand up. I don't want to get around loving everybody like myself. I'll try and do good and love people, but even that's a hard one. So we're constantly trying to develop. We're constantly trying to, get along with people. I don't think it's something that you can force. I think it's something that's a natural part of you. And if the Holy Spirit helps you with that, that's fine. But you know what? The shunning and all this other stuff, it doesn't, look, they might get people come back. They might get people come back and all this, and they make out it's because they weren't spoken to and they didn't get texted and all that. I've had girlfriends that wouldn't text me. At the end of it, I thought, I don't even want to know you either. They don't tell you about the people that go, I'm never going to be subjected to this again. And I think there's more of those than what there are that have come back. Now, I want to thank everybody for your comments. It's lovely to hear from you, Venora. I hope you've got an air conditioner there. Thank you for joining me in this test of the live stream. Hopefully I can speak to you more. We've got Emma Lee. It shocked me to the core. There is a channel, Enter Fifth something or other. He is an ex-witness that showed all this. Yeah. This will play out later for those who missed out. Lovely. Well, please stay well. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, getting back to the most important thing, which is the missus and the family. Have a great day, everybody. I'll try and finish the June publication of the Watchtower. I'm going to make it a bit more brief and just hit points that I think need addressing. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming in, because I'm learning from those as well. Again, thanks, Venora, for coming in on the chat, and Emma. Yeah, I'll look up that channel there. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. I'll keep an eye on the news and pyramid. Yeah, all that. Look up Charles Taze Russell's tomb. It's a pyramid-shaped tomb with the Masonic stuff and everything. Thanks, Emma. Stay well, everyone. I've got to go. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist. Bye for now.